All right, and we are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of New Comic Book Day Previews. With my guests today, we've got Rex from Dynamite Dynamic Forces. We're going to be talking about all of the upcoming releases for New Comic Book Day, March, I believe it's 2nd, 2022. So everyone in the house right now, please welcome Rex.
What's going on, everyone? I see we got Dave already hit us with a drive-by comment. Rocco in the house. What's going on, Rocco?
What's up? What's going on, Rocco? So, tomorrow's New Comic Book Day. Got a lot of really good books coming up. We're only going to, everyone watching right now, we're only going to be going for roughly half an hour-ish today, a little bit shorter than typical. I do have a Whatnot auction tonight at 5 on the LV_comics account. We've got a lot of really good stuff. As always, tune in Thursday as well for all the New Comic Book Day incentives and releases with, slabs and other cool things too. But, Rex, how's it going today?
Nah, not too bad for Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday.
Another busy day?
Kind of, yeah, kind of. But at least it's warmer today out. So we're close to each other. So, the weather is the same. So looking forward to some a little less cold, a little more warm. But, it's March.
March is crazy.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get. Just like a box of chocolates, you never know which one you're going to get. But yeah, other than that, I can't complain. We had a good show last night with Robbie, and we talked horror.
Cool.
Not as much, so we're probably going to pick it up again. Maybe a little bit tomorrow, if we want. But definitely, I promised Robbie we'd talk a little bit more horror. We got caught up. How we get sidetracked.
Oh, trust me, I know. It happens all the time.
Yes, sir, it does.
For tomorrow, we got a lot of really good books coming out. I was helping the shop out today, prepare all the New Comic Book Day stuff. Lots of big stacks, a lot of stuff. So, if you want to kick this video off, everything coming out with Dynamite, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about Dynamite first. All right, so this week we have Sheena, Queen of the Jungle #4, Stephen Mooney writer, and Jethro Morales. Art looks like cover A is Lucio Perillo. I know Dave's a big fan of Perillo's work.
Oh, yeah.
Cover B, Rose Besh. Cover C, Arthur Sudheim. Cover D, Joseph Michael Linsner. So some great. Oh, and Ken Hazer has a cover for Sheena, Queen of the Jungle #4. And then Hell Sonia #3, writer Christopher Hastings, and art is Pasquale Qualano. And also we've got a Lucio Perillo cover, a Jay Lee cover. Nice. Gracie the cosplayer, whom John Cole knows. She's the one that can bake cakes as well, just like Cake Boss. So we have a cosplay cover in that. Then Dynamite Never Dies, #1, writer Fred Van Lente. And let's see. Oh, Tony Fleeks is cover A. Another Perillo cover, Arthur Sudheim, Lee Ricks Lee, another Gracie the cosplayer, and Jamie Biggs. So that's coming up a little bit light this week for us. But some great titles. Encourage everybody, if you haven't picked up one of these titles, you might want to.
I think next week, I can't remember. I started working on the next previews video already. I think it's next week. You got Evil Ernie issue 4 coming out. I forget if I told you, but I was able to pick up the back issues. I found them. And
I think you mentioned it.
Yeah. I haven't had a chance to read them yet, but I looked through it. It looks really cool. But I was a huge fan of that first issue, so I'm happy.
I've been telling you, man, just send me an email. I'll make sure you get them.
I know. Speaking of that email, I forgot to send that last week. I got so caught up with everything. My friend that wanted that book, I forgot to send you the email to pay for it.
Yeah, just send me the email.
I got you. We'll check.
Send me the email. We'll take care of
it. I always forget.
I know you've been busy, dude. A lot of great shows. So I encourage everybody. Check out AR's Whatnot streams. Pretty cool, some great stuff. I know you've been doing a lot of them, so definitely check that out. And definitely check out the rest of his streams on his YouTube channel. Some great content there.
They've been really fun. The shorts, I'm telling you, I've been talking to a few people. I almost strictly want to do just shorts now compared to the long form content. But I've been doing that for so long, like with the previews and the top 10 list. I enjoy doing that, but I'll tell you, the shorts are just they're too much fun to make. And
well, I'm glad to hear that, but I definitely don't think you should abandon your long form because
no.
I think a lot of people like those and you wouldn't want to cut them off, but I'm glad to hear that the shorts are working out though.
Yeah, they all pretty much tie in with each other. I mean, Thursday is a top 10 list, and then from there I talk about, maybe I'll do like a top 5 that I did, like just 30 seconds, and then I do a lot of 30-second reviews on pretty much all the books I picked up, so I casually release those as well. And then Sundays, obviously the previews video, and I talk about, like, from that point on, I talk about books I'm really looking forward to, potential spec books, stuff like that. So it's been, I don't know, obviously staying busy, but it's definitely been a lot of fun.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Glad to hear it, man. Looks like you'll be coming into a calm wave. Your house is settled, all that stuff. The dust is finally kind of settling.
It's only getting busier. I mean, this morning, so my girlfriend had off from work today, so we've been painting the one room most of the morning. So I literally just got done helping with that. Figured I'd sit down and do this. Almost everything else is good. We're getting to the point where we can finally call for. We're going to start getting carpet quotes.
Gotcha.
But man, we got pretty much one room left in the house to just fully paint. The rest of the house needs a little bit of touch-ups here and there, little edges, but for the most part, everything's pretty much painted. Just one more room finally. Gonna get the carpet.
A lot of work, man.
It really is. It's been a lot of work. But that was onto the topic. While you guys are all here, you're not here to listen to me talk about this house and all the things we have to do for it. But we did just get done with Dynamite, so I'm gonna put the screen on and we can start going through some of the Marvel books this week. We got a lot of good Marvel books coming out. I know we just got done talking about Dynamite too. Obviously, those are a lot of really good books. Sadly, a few of them I'm not reading right now, but definitely good ones to keep your eyes peeled for. But man, Marvel, ASM, that series has been great. New Moon Knight. The last issue was really cool. X-Men fans, we got X-Men 9. I think one book to potentially look out for is going to be Star Wars: The High Republic 15. That is, I believe, the series finale. Let me double check super quick. This is the final. So Star Wars: High Republic 15 is the final issue of the series. You never know what they're going to do. Maybe a character could die off. Maybe they introduce somebody new that's going to go into the next Star Wars series. From there, wasn't a big fan of that first She-Hulk issue, so I'm probably not going to continue on with that. We do have a brand new Strange series, and this is a series that if you were interested in, it does take place directly after the Death of Doctor Strange miniseries event that they were doing. So check it out, but to be honest, if you didn't read that, you're probably not going to be really fully understanding what's going on. And we got Joffrey in the house. What's going on, Joffrey, and One True Nerd King? Lots of good books out this week. I'm really looking forward to it too. And he's actually one of the guys I'm going to be doing the Thursday live stream with coming up. It's going to be me, him, and then Skiff. Yep. So that's going to be he's going to be part of it. We've been putting it off for weeks. Mainly my fault too. But yeah, mini series that spans into 50 comics.
Yeah, honestly, not so many anymore.
Yeah, that Death of Doctor Strange series, it really tied into a lot of different things. So we got Red Royalty in the house. What's going on? Said, are you excited for the new Batman Neo? Is that this week? Let me bring that up super quickly. So I know we have a new Batman series that's going to be coming up shortly with Chip Zdarsky's going to be writing it. Nice House on the Lake is back. No, actually, I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure what Batman Neo is. I'm going to be real with you. If you've watched any of my videos, I don't know a ton about DC. And then we got SMK saying opinion on Devil's Reign tie-ins. My opinion on that one, to be quite honest, is I'm not reading the tie-ins. I usually stay away from tie-ins because I feel like I usually waste my money. But sadly with this one, while I do really like the Devil's Reign series, I am missing a lot of the story from not getting the tie-ins. There's a lot of stuff that plays in from the tie-ins into the main, and for those reasons, I'm missing a lot of story, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. How do you feel about all the tie-ins and stuff, Rex?
I don't know. I mean, it's something that we talked about on last night's show, is that, there isn't a lot of continuity left in terms of a lot of these issues. A lot of mini series, or a just kind of just starting from scratch type thing, trying to take advantage of the number one issue type thing. And, you know, it was a conversation we were having that you know, there seems to be a movement away from real continuity. You know what I mean? Where you have a storyline that spans, you know, several issues, and then continues on into another story. It seems like they always kind of bounce back, and there's another number one, or you know, a tie-in or a spin-off or something like that. So, you know, you kind of look at it as, you know, are they moving sort of towards a marketing angle? Because, you know, it's just, call it what you will, there's more demand if it's a number one as opposed to a number 646, you know. So
Yeah.
are they trying to take advantage of that? I don't know, you know.
Now it's funny that you bring that up as well, because my thought on that is we were talking about actually last night in the Whatnot stream I was doing. So one of my favorite series from Marvel right now is the Strange Academy series. And I read that it's being canceled. And I was really upset by that because it's a really good series. But they're not actually canceling it. They're basically just ending the current series at, I don't know what number they're doing. But they're restarting it up with a brand new number one and basically calling it like year two. I think that's really annoying.
It's you know, it's a marketing, you know, it's, yeah, you're just taking, you know, the content. If you like the content's great, but, you know, bouncing back to a number one almost feels like packaging, you know, put it in a shiny new box.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like I totally get it where they're coming from, at least for Strange Academy, because they're calling it year two. So it's like, all right, well, it's a fresh school year. They're starting off new. But you really have to just like cancel the series and just turn it into another number one just to try to get new readers involved with it. I find that annoying and just kind of, I don't want to say it's scummy, but I mean, it kind of is on Marvel's end.
Well, you kind of lose. I mean, I feel like you kind of lose by doing it this way. You kind of lose some, you know, as John had put it, you know, the continuity of it all, you know.
Yeah.
But so BDG says, you know, that's an interesting point. It's annoying, but at the same time, it's good to create, you know, obvious jump-in points for new readers. I can sort of see that, but, you know, is it? Yeah, I can see what BDG is saying. You know, it kind of gives you a point where, you know, okay, this one storyline is ending, they're starting a new one, and here's where it starts, because we're giving it, you know, we're going back to renumber it at, you know, at one. So kind of makes sense, but also I think from a collecting value or even a spec concept, you can't depend, you know, number ones become meaningless. You know, it really does become, is it a new character? Is it a first appearance type thing? Becomes more relevant because now, you know, everything's a number one. So it really takes away, you know, the I guess the scarcity of it, if you will.
I totally get it too. From BDG, where it says, you know, they're trying to create obvious jump-in points. That is what makes sense to me, at least for Strange Academy. But at the same time, is that really going to make it new reader friendly just because it has a number one, but they're calling it year two? Imagine someone jumps into that and they have all this stuff from a previous Strange Academy run, and and it might not be new reader friendly, but people think it is because it's a number one. And One True Nerd King hit it right on the head. It's a cash grab. That's exactly what it is. They've got a good series on their hands. They know it's popular, but it wasn't popular in the beginning, so people can't really jump into it now, 12 issues deep or something? Maybe it's 14. Right. And that's exactly what it is they want the people who are interested in the series. And yeah, BG said it again, you know, it's hard to justify jumping in at 127. He's not wrong. That's exactly what it is. They're doing the same thing with the Daredevil series that's being written by Chip Zdarsky. I don't know if a new writer's taking over, but they're ending that series and basically restarting a brand new Daredevil at number one again, just so new readers can jump in. I don't like that. That's the one thing that Marvel does that's really annoying. But at the same time, what BDG just said, it's hard to justify jumping in and say Batman 127 right now. It's like, damn, 127 issues deep. Am I really going to want to jump into that? That's a little overwhelming for a new reader. If they restarted at Batman number one, I'm sure a lot of people would be really interested in it, but you're going to get the people who've been reading it since the beginning, and it's going to piss them off.
Well, I mean, listen, I mean, you know, when I started reading, and we're talking way back in the day, and, the Claremont Byrne days, that type of thing. That's just kind of how you did it. You jumped in. There was no way you're going back to, X-Men #1, right?
No.
And in the new X-Men, they didn't go back and go to #1, but you knew as a comic reader that it was new X-Men that were being introduced. So from that perspective, for the old collectors, the old readers, we just got used to it. You kind of figured out what, and if you weren't at the beginning, you try to go back, get back issues to get to the point where that particular storyline came in, really started. So you had to be a little bit more intuitive. So, from that perspective, back in the day, you had no choice.
Mm-hmm.
So BDG, let's see, he says, I think the simple answer is to advertise and market more clearly when arcs begin. That I agree with. I say, and that's kind of how you figured it out in the past, the death of Phoenix, so on and so forth. You knew where that jumping on point was going to logically go. But again, this is the way of the world, and I do agree it is to a certain extent a cash grab, because they're playing off the concept. Ooh, it's a #1. But I think like anything else, if the boy cries wolf too many times, people aren't, the gimmick won't work anymore, because then you've devalued the concept of #1. And as BDG puts it, it just becomes a jumping on point. That, that arc is ending, this arc is beginning. Okay, that's why they went back to #1. So you kind of dilute that, so the collectability of that is not going to be the same going forward.
Yeah, I totally agree. And since we're on the topic of #1s, a little bit of speculation. Now, someone asked earlier what I think about this series. I'm personally really looking forward to it. I'm a huge fan of What If. I'm also a huge fan of Miles Morales. So put them together, yeah, I'm pretty pumped for it. I'm not saying that this is going to be a good spec book, because quite honest, I really don't. But what's something I think needs to be considered is how they're still incorporating Starling into this. That's the character that's in the background right there, and she's obviously playing some sort of role with Miles in this series. And that is still a character that is flying extremely under the radar right now. Is her first appearance. I think that is Miles Morales Spider-Man issue #8. It's either 7 or 8. One of them is a cameo. One of them is the first full. But that's already an established character. She is periodically making her appearance. She's shown to be a little love thing going on with Miles. And when I say she's already established, her uncle, I think it's either her uncle or her grandfather, is the Vulture. That's why she has the wings as well. It's technology that she got from him. So she's related to a very established Spider-Man character. She's still playing a role in this series, and now she's going to be in the What If series too. So with all that being said, I know we're talking about What If. I don't think the What If is going to be a big, speculation cash grab, or not cash grab, but like a speculation big book to possibly flip. If you are looking into, flipping books, holding on to some books for the future, I would get every single Starling first appearance that I possibly could. It's severely underrated, and she's continued to be shown, and not just this series, but she's also in the Champion series as well. So she keeps making appearances, and people just do not seem to care. With that being said, people don't seem to care. But I think going forward, all it takes is one person to start talking about it and say, oh, this is going to be a big character. She's playing a bigger role. For all you know, she's going to maybe make an appearance in the Miles Morales movie or TV show or whatever they end up doing, because, I don't know, she's a pretty big character that plays a role alongside him. They just got done fighting somebody like 5 or 6 issues back in the Miles series too. So, and John Watson said it, granddaughter of the Vulture. So there you have it. I wasn't 100% sure. I knew she had some sort of relation. I couldn't remember if it was uncle or grandfather, but I'm a huge fan of that character. I think she's got some solid potential. But I'm really looking forward to the What If too, just to read it, because I'm a big What If guy.
So Madman Paul said her first appearance in issue #6.
Is it 6? Let me bring that up. Actually, someone else said her first appearance is 6. All right, I couldn't tell. I knew one of them was. I remember the cover. Let's see if I can bring it up super quick. Let's see. Miles Morales Spider-Man 6. Yeah, it's 6. And it's only selling. Well, it's selling on eBay. They have a bunch of buy it now is for like $40, $35, $40. And then why the hell is I was gonna say yeah, honestly, let me see if I can bring this up real quick. I was gonna say it looks like my eBay is all in a different language. half of it's in American, and then the other half is. Here, let me bring that up real quick. It looks really weird. You guys see all that on the side right there? Everything off on the far left side. Everything's in. Is that Russian? Honestly,
Oh,
yeah, it's like half. This is half of it's in English, and then the other half is in a different language. So like at the top of it, but then you go along the side.
That's weird.
Yeah, and then look at the years too. I don't even know if that's the years. Huh, yeah, it's weird.
That is weird. You've been hacked.
I've been hacked. Where did she first appear from personal perspective? Here, it's actually this issue that I got up on the screen. This is her first appearance. The Miles Morales Spider-Man 6 first Starling. I'm pretty positive though she just pops in on like the very last page and says her name, and then 7 I think is the first full appearance. But it's been a while since I read the earlier issues. We're on like what 20 or no, we just had like issue 35 I think. So it's been a minute with Miles. But that's mainly everything worth talking about in my opinion for Marvel. I mean, obviously there's some really other good issues coming out as well, but as far as that goes, the What If is probably the big one I'm looking forward to, as well as the Moon Knight issue. Moon Knight has been truly above and beyond. But I'd say the one issue that I'm honestly looking forward to most this week is going to be Nice House on the Lake, issue number 7. It's finally back. This is a really good series from DC. So now you guys can't say that I only read Marvel. This is like my one and only DC that I read.
You only read Marvel except for X-Men.
I only read Marvel except for X-Men, and no. But I know X-Men fans can talk about this one because there's too much going on in that series right now. You got like a couple main titles and then a load of tie-in series like Excalibur, New Mutants. I can't even think of all of them off the top of my head, but I mean, hell, looking at Marvel this week, I'm sure there's probably 3 or 4 X-Men titles that are coming out.
Well, keep in mind, I mean, things like New Mutants and Excalibur, that all spun off after the phenomenal success of the Byrne Claremont days, and they knew they had something, and then they started spinning them off all over the place, X Factor. I mean, it was even Alpha Flight, so they were just spinning it off everywhere, and just like, I guess, just like TV shows, when you have something that works, then you try to, how do you put it, regerminate it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So John Watson says it's DC Black Label though.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I read a lot of the Black Label stuff. One True Nerd King says, yeah, it's Russian, and then he also says turn that VPN off. That says I don't even know. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know what that is. So
VPN is the way that people hide their IP address.
Oh, hey, yeah. So I just reloaded. I've reloaded eBay, and it's all in English this time.
Yeah,
that was weird.
Who knows what's going on, man? I mean, right now you got all kinds of things going on in the world. Who knows?
Oh my God, it is insane.
Yeah, they could have hacked eBay, or who knows.
And then BDG also says, "AR, you not reading Dark Knights of Steel?" I read the first issue. I actually used it as a giveaway. I ended up giving it to somebody else. There is one coming out this week. I think it's this week. It's like a little book that has. Is it this one? Yeah, it's Dark Knights of Steel, The Gathering Storm, issue 1. It's I think the first 3 issues. So someone like myself who's not really caught up in the series, if you were interested in it, this has the first couple issues in it to get yourself acquainted with it. You can't find the back issues, but yeah, if you're into like the fantasy stuff as well as DC, it was definitely a pretty cool read. Outside of that, though, I mean, I don't know, some other cool stuff. Image is having, I think, a little bit lighter of a week. I'm not getting anything from Boom Studios. but Image was Noctera. That's a bomb read. Noctera, Nightmare Blog, Hellcop. So this is interesting to me. Super quick on Hellcop. Someone at work was telling me that Hellcop is actually something that came out a long time ago, and I think he said it was originally in French and it got translated and they basically turned it into a comic like this. I can't confirm that, but he was telling me all about it today, that this is something that got remade into English that came out a long time ago. So if anyone else in the chat right now can confirm that, I mean, I've never heard that until today. But outside of that, if there's anything you guys are interested in hearing about, our thoughts on stuff, we can ask Rex, what kind of goodies are we bringing to the table tomorrow for the experience episode?
As always, we're going to have, slab books. I believe the ones we're going to have tomorrow are all going to be 9.8s. We'll have some Batman. Trying to think if I think we might have some boys, a boys autograph piece for tomorrow. With obviously the movie dropping next week, or is it this Friday? Actually, I'm sorry, the movie's dropping this Friday, right? And then the boys animated series, Batman.
Oh yeah, I think that is this Friday.
Yeah, the new Robert Pattinson. So I've heard varying kind of reviews, but they're definitely going darker. So that's the one thing that I gathered from everything. Everybody agreed they're definitely going even darker. So it'll be interesting. It's a long movie though. I think it's like 3 hours.
Yeah, that's something I wouldn't want to see in the theaters. I don't know. I can't sit there for that long. That's a movie that I'm going to take I'm going to take a couple tries to watch it.
Well, I'll probably wait until it gets home because I'm an old guy. I probably have to, I take blood pressure medication, so I have to go to the bathroom. I can't sit there for 3 hours. And then, I can't pause it in the movie theater. The other patrons get pissed off at me if I try that. So, regardless of the reviews, as a comic fan, as a Batman fan, I'm going to watch it. So, and I know the boys animated series is dropping, I believe Friday. I want to say Friday.
On Amazon?
I think so. Yes. So that should be interesting. Like to see how that how the public receives that. Obviously, the series itself has been fantastic, and the comics that we've been publishing since 20 some years, I guess. It's nice to see it take that step. Finally reach that kind of more mass market. I'm sure a lot of people haven't read the comics that are watching the show, but that's how you get them in the comics. There's something else we were talking about.
The Boys is definitely well deserving of whatever's to come for it. Movie, TV shows, like it deserves it. It's a great read from what I've read, and the show's fantastic. So going forward, it's well deserving.
Yeah. So fingers crossed. We'll see what happens.
It'll be cool. We did get one quick question from personal perspective. I noticed it was I recently purchased Miles Morales, the Ultimate One, CGC 9.6. Do you guys think this is something that can go up in value? No, it's all good. And nothing's ever off subject. I mean, look at us. We talk about the most random stuff sometimes. But with that, I think almost anything that has Miles Morales on it has like potential to go up in value, because you got to think that first appearance is still selling for a lot of money on eBay. It's still hard to come by. So with that being said, most people who can't afford the first appearance, or even, most people can afford the reprints because it's a reprint. So they're a lot easier to get a hold of. But any number one with that character, especially now, because what was it? The one we're on now, Miles Morales Spider-Man, I think that's the third volume. I think there's 2 other volumes that didn't go as long as this one. So anything with a number one for Miles, especially the earlier stuff like you picked up, definitely something good to hold on to. See why it got a 9.6. If there's color breaking, or maybe it's a little dirty, you think there's a crease that you could press out, I would definitely try to resend that in if I was you. But definitely anything with Miles's name on it, I think is going to be going up in the future.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with Alec on that one. But also personal perspective, keep in mind that it's great that you got a 9.6. As Alex said, you might want to examine the book itself if you think you can get a higher grade, resubmit it. But keep in mind that if you're any kind of spec question, it's still tied to the issue. You take a comic out of a dollar bin and you go get it slabbed, and it's slabbed a 9.6. It's still just a undesired comic that's slabbed on 9.6. So the grade itself will only determine the level of where the price appreciates. So if the raw copy is worth $100, maybe the CGC 9.6 is worth $300 or $400. That just guarantees the condition. That's the only thing that CGC really does is it uniformly gives you a grade. So because back before slab comics and slab trading cards, you go to a convention or a show, and the seller thinks it's a 9, you think it's an 8, and then you're haggling over it. Yeah, I mean, that's what slabbing does. It takes that element of the negotiations out of the picture.
I agree with that one too. So next one, I saw John had a question too. Said, did you stop reading most of the Star Wars stuff like High Republic? Yeah, I definitely did. It's hard for me to get into Star Wars. The Darth Vader series was actually really good. But then as I was reading it, I came to the realization, the same thing I usually come to a realization with most Star Wars stuff is I'm not invested in it because I don't particularly care about it. Now, I've been actually looking at Star Wars Omnis, the actual Star Wars. I think they have a Darth Vader one as well on organic price books. But I would get that, and it's something I would like to read all at once. But to wait a month or every other month to get those issues, I don't really care about it. Like High Republic, I thought it was cool, but especially now they're going to be ending the series with, what is it, issue 15 or 12? I don't even remember what it was exactly. But I don't really care about it, and for that I ended up dropping it. So that's my thoughts on Star Wars. I know it's very popular. I know everybody loves it, especially the TV shows, but it's just something I didn't really grow up with, and it's just, I don't know, I just never thought it was really for me. And then Province, I think Animal Castle, that was originally in French. I think we talked about that last week, didn't we? With
yes.
And was that Orwell that did the other one?
You're talking about Animal Farm, yes.
Animal Farm, yeah. Is that?
Yes.
I think that's what we talked about, how it was kind of loosely based off the same thing. I can't remember that though.
Which actually is very relevant today, unfortunately.
Yes, that is very true. But we covered pretty much everything. We are hitting that 30-minute mark. I talked about in the beginning we were going to try to stick to 30 minutes this time. I do have my Whatnot auction at 5 o'clock tonight, so it's going to be in 30 minutes. We've got a lot of incentives, exclusives. We have slabs going up as well. So stay tuned for that. And is there anything you wanted to add to anything, Rex?
Just tomorrow night on The Experience, Alec, as always, on Wednesdays is our guest, 6 to 8 Eastern time. And then, of course, also on The Experience on Friday nights from 7 to 8 Eastern time, Nick will be here with the Original Art Show. Even if you don't collect original art, it's a really cool show. Nick pulls out a lot of pieces from his personal collection. So if you just enjoy looking at original art, it's a great show to tune in for. Definitely don't forget to check out AR's Whatnot auction in 25 minutes.
Yeah,
we have some great deals, some great value, some great deals. So definitely check that out. And before you leave, make sure you hit your thumbs up, subscribe to AR's channel if you haven't already. Helps his channel grow. You want to see, obviously some more great content. That's the best way to help him out.
Thank you. And one final thing, I saw Michael. What's the favorite omnibus in my collection right now? Man, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I've got some really cool ones. I'm gonna sit on that one, and I'll mention, if you're watch The Experience tomorrow with us, I'll think it through, and I'll come up with, I'll figure out which one's my favorite on this shelf.
I'll give you a hint. It's not a Western title.
It's not a Western. Last week I had no idea what you guys were talking about. I'm sitting there the whole time like, that's it. That's all I could do. I had no say in anything.
Well, we talked horror a little bit, and I thought Robbie was going to jump out of his seat yesterday.
I'm good with that. Fan. I'm a big horror fan too, so I'll have some input on that one.
Very good, very good. So we'll definitely bring that up tomorrow as well.
Solid. But as always, thank you again, Rex. I know you're a very busy man, so I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do this with all of us.
Always fun to do. And
chat, you guys make this. We're just talking, shooting the shit back and forth, but
pretty much
just you guys bringing your questions and everything that you guys want to see and talk about too. It really does help make this. So without you guys, this wouldn't be possible either. And thank you again. So we'll see you in 30 minutes on the Whatnot if you guys are free, and then tomorrow on the Experience. So have a good night, guys. Thank you again.
Thanks, everyone.